It's the final home and away game of the Liberty A-League season, and there is still so much to be resolved. It's not just Melbourne City versus Canberra United, it's Melbourne Victory as a very interested onlooker as their fate rests in the hands of these two teams. Will Melbourne City do their rivals the ultimate favour, or will Canberra break into the top four at the expense of the defending champions? Fans sticking around for the second game of a doubleheader as we take a look at the lineups for this contest. Melbourne City, one change to the team that lost 4-3 away in Perth to the Glory last Sunday. Hannah Wilkinson is into the starters. Maria Cote-Rojas goes to the bench. Chelsea Blissett is back on the bench, and Isabella Accardo drops out of Dario Vidisic's matchday squad. Canberra United, they make no changes to the 11 that defeated Western United 3-0 in Melbourne last weekend. On the bench, Emma Ilioski comes in at the expense of Madison McComiskey. And if Canberra do get knocked out of finals contention today, it'll be game 145 and goodbye for veteran Ellie Brush. That's the scenario. If Canberra was to lose today, Perth would finish 5th. But that is only cosmetic because it's about the top four. A draw is not good enough for Canberra. They would miss out on goal difference. They must win to play finals. And so as we get ready to kick this one off, Michelle Heyman and Canberra United will attack the right of your screens in this first half. It's Melbourne City against Canberra United from Amy Park, the final game of the Liberty A-League home and away season for 2022-23. Riley Dobson, who's going to win and why?
I'm going with Canberra United for this one. Unfortunately, I just feel they've got the right little bit of mojo moving forward.
So we'll see how this early stage shakes out. I understand, Riley, you've looked at the numbers, and Canberra, they really are a good team at scoring first in games. They
do. They have scored majority of their goals within the first 15 to 30 minutes of each game. That's got their highest percentage. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can put one early on the scoreboard.
And the level of intensity from Negos Popovic's team will be very intriguing to watch, given that Melbourne City love to dominate possession, and we'll be hoping to control the ball and starve Canberra of any opportunities to hit them early. Here is Naomi Chinema working with Caitlin Torpey on the right side. Oh, a slip in midfield. And now Nikki Flannery is the long shot on. Michelle Heyman has got space, crosses it to an unmarked Cheng Shu Wu, and she was unmarked because she was offside. And Canberra United, well, they didn't execute there when the opportunity presented.
My heart is in my throat right now. Look, beautiful play there. If we're looking back here, Flannery has just taken Chinema straight across the goal. I'd like to see VAR if it was possible on that one.
Well, of course, no VAR in the Liberty A-League. Referee's decision is final. The surface at Amy Park, there's been a lot made of it for men's games as well. You can see rugby union markings on it this week. It's not in the sort of pristine condition we're used to, and that slip could have proven crucial. Here's Heyman. Now Cheng Shu Wu. Sasha Grove in space. Can pick out a target in the box. Misses them all except for Flannery. Flannery on the spin and forces a save out of Melissa Barbieri, who has to parry over the crossbar. And Barbieri, a great stop.
Beautiful ball in by Sasha Grove. Checker couldn't get enough on it, but look at this shot from Flannery. She's got a head over the ball. Melissa Barbieri has had to tip that onto the post.
And that'll be a confidence booster for Barbieri, given that Melbourne City conceded from all 4 of their shots on target last week.
Look, Barbs is a professional. She knows the psychology behind the game. She's someone who can just reset herself and go again fresh.
First corner of the game. Grace Maher attacking the near side, hits the frame of the goal. Scramble in the penalty area. Brush is there and volleyed away by Bowen. And at the 10-minute mark, Canberra have had their 2 best chances so far. Flannery hooking it across, but the flag is up again for offside. And it looked as though she had straight offside there.
The warning signs are here for Melbourne City. They are smashing these players forward, Canberra United. This is an absolute perler. It's hit the post. Bubs did not have that covered at all.
Well, you mentioned it, between the 15th to the 30th minute is where Canberra score most of their goals. We're getting close to that prime time where they hit the back of the net. Melbourne City want to stretch the game in the other direction, though. McNamara is onside as Wilkinson in the middle for the tap in, and Melbourne City score first. And Holly McNamara, the Wilkinson Whisperer, has done it again. This combination might just be taking Melbourne City to the promised land of the top four. And they might be doing so at Canberra United's expense.
This is a beautiful ball through and over, and this is what I've been explaining before. McNamara has the pace and she has the ability to look across the line. Wilkinson, perfect. That's what you want from your striker, just to tap it in. But they were always told they were going to be outrun if they weren't kept a close eye on.
I mean, you flagged this earlier, Riley, the speed of Canberra United's defence to keep up with McNamara, but Wilkinson there was able to outpace the centre-backs and the covering defenders as well. And so Canberra, on a day where they have to win, now need to score at least twice.
Well, they have hit the post twice already. I mean, the warning signs were there, but we have spoken about this. This is where City are at their best.
Milivojevic wins the ball back. Canberra would love nothing more than to wipe out the early goal, and they've got numbers on the overload here. Grace Jale has checkered a beat. Jale! Canberra level! Oh, we might be heading for something special at Amy Park today, because Canberra, in the blink of an eye, make it 1-1. Melbourne City can't believe it. Grace Jale makes it level.
What a game we have on our hands here. This is a beautiful ball through by Miller. I'm having too excited here. Look, we've got Jale. She's shown such composure, and she's just slot that home, far corner. Bubs is not impressed. You can tell by the look on her face.
And Melbourne City restart play with Melissa Barbieri. They've got to be pinpoint and precise. Bowen to Torpy. Now Policina. And they've worked this very well. On to the feet of McNamara, who jags inside. And Holly McNamara attracting a crowd wherever she goes. Here's Galich. Oh, the flag is up. And, well, the shot missed in any case. And Daniela Galich not able to add to her 2-goal tally for the season. Interesting, we're seeing a disproportionately high number of offsides than normally we would be used to, and McNamara was wiped out after playing that pass, and looks as though she's down and a little bit sore.
Oh, look, it was a beautiful run. It was just slightly too quick by Galich.
Of course, when they met in Queanbeyan back in December, it was a 4-0 win to Melbourne City. And on that occasion, Galich a double from Rojas, and Policina were the scorers. No Rojas in the starting 11 today. Hannah Wilkinson, the inclusion, has already found the back of the net, so Dario Vidizic, you'd have to say, has pulled the right rein, at least through 33 minutes. Here's a ball through the right from Torpy, and McNamara, who has 1 assist already, takes a look at who's on in the penalty area, cuts it back for Policina! Melbourne City back in front! And the Mac has 2 assists. Rihanna Policina scores against Canberra again. And once again, the team in green have it all to do if they want to see finals action.
What have I said? It's this right-hand side. Holly McNamara, she's just driven in, got just shy of the byline. Policina's running in. This is where you want to cut balls back for midfielders. It's in that penalty spot, and it was great to see so many City players in the box. Bottom corner, that is textbook.
Bowen allowed to move forward. Policina, the most recent goal scorer, fouled, shooting range. Ellie Brush protests, but Melbourne City have a free kick, and it's ever so slightly closer than the one that Rihanna Policina drove into the gloves of Chloe Lincoln earlier in the half. And Chloe Lincoln, who set up a few steps off her goal line on the most recent free kick, is going for the same again. McKenna leaves it. Policina, a drifter. And McNamara turns it into the 6-yard box. Galich is there. Brush. They're scrambling. Checker high over the bar. And they were able to create a little bit of a mess, Melbourne City, but Canberra are able to defend the situation.
Look, that was a bit of a mess there. I mean, beautiful touch back in, but you've got to look at the desperation from Canberra United. You've got to give it to them. They've done well there, but the clearance performance was poor overall. They got very, very lucky there.
And now McNamara trying to ghost onto the ball, but Taylor Young is able to protect it. Finds Flannery with a slow-moving pass. Flannery trying to accelerate things. Heyman in a bit of space. She's lost the attention of Chinema for once and can actually run at the defence. Michelle Heyman with the underlapping run coming. It's Jale who's got 1 already. Jale steadies, has to score, and Barbieri makes the save. Cheng Shu Wu, and the attack breaks down. And Melissa Barbieri, well, she was an inaugural Melbourne Victory player. And it will be Melbourne Victory cheering her defensive work there as Flannery goes from distance, and out it goes, and Melissa Barbieri has come up with one of the saves of the season.
That is huge. This run from Heyman was picture perfect. Jarlee, the composure. One, she could have gone down there. She went, no, I'm going to stand up. The fact that Melissa Barbieri has covered so much space there, that could be a match-winning save.
McNamara pops up on the left flank and plays it to Galich. Grosso is not going to chase this ball down. Will City have time to take the throw in? It appears as though Rachel Mitchinson will let them take the throw. Not looking at her watch just yet. So maybe one last attack for the home team. Grosso and McNamara. And as the ball tumbles out, throw in again. McNamara once more. Goes to ground. Under not a huge amount of contact from Jarlee. Canberra break away with the ball, and it's met by the half-time whistle. So the game is delivered so far. Certainly, if you're a Melbourne Victory fan watching on as a neutral, it's delivered the scoreline you were hoping for. But in the Capital Territory, they need a big comeback in the second half. At least 2 goals need to hit the back of the net if Canberra want to play finals this season. Because at half-time, it's Melbourne City 2, leading Canberra United 1. Canberra must win to make finals. As things stand, Melbourne Victory watching on as a team, or most of their team, having come back from New Zealand after yesterday's game where they weren't able to secure their own place in the finals. They need this big favour. Right now, Canberra have to score at least 2. They have to win today. Otherwise, it is going to be Melbourne City versus Melbourne Victory in the elimination final. And let's not forget, they met in the preliminary final last year. So even though they've never met in a grand final, Raleigh, they are 45 minutes away from creating another little piece of history of meeting in finals matches and in knockout finals matches. Flannery back up and challenging. Taylor Young just rolled off the laces. Torpy made it awkward for Chinema, and now Taylor Young can take over. Michelle Heyman is in space here and can roll away from Emma Checker. Heyman with a burst of acceleration. Michelle Heyman on the tight angle! Oh, what a save! It's gone through the penalty area with a touch on the way, and Michelle Heyman is perhaps right to ask for a corner. There's no way that was clean through without a touch from someone. And I think the assistant referee has now come to the party, but that was so close to the equaliser.
The composure and experience from Michelle Heyman, she's just gone, you know what, I've got Checker on a dime here.
Canberra have taken the initiative in the first 6 minutes of the second half. They're trying to draw level here. Cleared from the near post, though. Bowen. Laura Hughes gets in, wins the ball. And now pushes it out to Milivojevic. Second time ball in. Hughes, the follow-up. Oh, and Cheng Shu Wu has missed from inside the 6-yard box. Steered it back from whence it came when the tap-in was on. Riley Dobson, that was a chaotic passage of play, including a potential penalty shout in there. Let's run through it all.
Where do we start? This is beautiful by Laura Hughes. Look, I'm not going to call a penalty there. It's more just the base of the ground. This ball in by Milivojevic.
That's nicely done by Heyman. Underneath the referee to Jarlee, and here's Sasha Grove. We haven't seen her get forward in attack much today, Sasha Grove, but this is where she can really make City pay. Milivojevic lays it back to Jarlee. Jarlee with the step around, and the return ball. Sasha Grove, it's saved, and Barbieri comes up huge once again.
Oh, look, Melissa Barbieri, she is playing her heart out in this game. She is showing her experience, and not just that, the fact that she is saving this from being a draw at this point in time. Her dedication and her ability to throw her body on the line. The composure and small footwork here by Jarlee is almost on point perfect. Sasha Groves made a beautiful run in behind, and Melissa Barbieri has once again saved Melbourne City.
Hughes tried to force a pass, a little bit too heavy, and it rolls down to Barbieri.
What we've really noticed with Melbourne City is they're very set on playing out. There's not this trying to go long from goal kicks. They want to play out. They want to maintain that possession-based football.
Well, they've done really nicely here. The slide for McNamara, one-on-one! Holly McNamara! She'll be heading off for Matilda's duty with a goal to her name. A beautiful finish. It's 3-1 to Melbourne City. And it looks as though they are going on to a final against Melbourne Victory at home next weekend. Canberra would need an almighty comeback from here, and you can see the emotion of what it means to Holly McNamara.
Once again, it is this right-hand side. Holly McNamara has just taken off. She's gone, you know what, Lincoln's well outside of where she needs to be right now. Just a little chip over the top. We're just going to put a cherry on top of the cake.
And they want to add more goals here just to get their groove back. They've scored 3 in an hour. There might be more on the way. An errant pass. Rojas, introduction to the game. Cuts left. Who's on in the middle? And Ma, who gave the ball away initially, is back trying to make amends. But Rojas with the blind spin into the penalty area and saved by Lincoln. But that would have been a wonderful individual goal.
Oh, look, I think I would have ended up half throwing my microphone here, considering the excitement. Look at this, just a beautiful pullback. She's driven across Ma and just gone, you know what, there's a bit of a gap there. Let's see if I can put it there.
Jale trying to change all that. Crossing it in, Heyman. Oh, almost an accidental shot on target. And Michelle Heyman watches it deflect out for a goal kick. Definitely wasn't expecting the ball to pop up on her left foot.
Definitely not, but it's almost come off there. Looking back, I really love the driving runs of Jale across the defenders. Look, Heyman's got no idea where that even went. Bubs didn't really either.
And Sasha Grove takes the ball and sends it into the right-hand channel. Here's Cheng Shu Wu. We'll be thinking back to that miss that could have drawn Canberra level. Trying to turn provider here. Oh, and Heyman. It's gone the wrong way. And just like Grove's volley earlier in the half, when Heyman had the chance, it deflected well wide of the target.
This was a beautiful ball down the line, very much dominated by Melbourne City. They're showing a little bit of fatigue. However, Canberra United are still getting them on the counter. Can they just finish these opportunities and we might have a 3-3 contest on our hands? Milivojevic.
Oh, bravery there from Grove, and it's a high boot against Katie Bowen. Quick to apologise, but definitely a free kick. And Grace Ma will come forward. And this is right on the edge of shooting range, though, quite some distance out. Vesna Milivojevic is just having a say as well. It would be more favourable to a right footer. Ma tips it on, Milivojevic. Barbieri saw it all the way, and you know what? That's the result of a very well set wall there that Bubs saw that strike right off the boot.
Oh, look, the level of experience she's had in the A-League W. I'm not quite sure why they took the extra touch, whether it was just poor communication from the referee. It wasn't an indirect free kick and they could take it right from the spot.
Rojas motoring through the middle. Wilkinson, well, is offside again. And this, I think we're heading for the most offsides we've had in a single game this year, Riley. Perhaps it's just indicative of how much both teams are trying to stretch each other's defensive line.
Oh, look, they're going wide, they're going tall. We've got some substitutions here, Teo.
It's a triple change, and if there was something that was ever going to disrupt the momentum of the game, it's making 3 changes at once. So let's see if this has any bearing on the contest for Melbourne City. Chelsea Blissett, Briley Henry and Darcy Malone are all coming on in one hit. Rihanna Policina is one of the players that will make way. Letitia McKenna as well. And Naomi Chinema. So Raleigh, it's fresh legs, but could it be disruption for Melbourne City?
This could cause chaos. Teo, I'm actually surprised by this. I mean, whether it shows that Dario is quietly confident in what he's doing, or the other thing is, does that show his lack of experience at this level with pushing into a finals?
Still able to nod it on. Hughes. Jale. Spinning out to the right. Grace Jale has just got away from Blissett. A little bit of separation. Heyman lets it run. Milivojevic! Canberra are back in business. And the triple change for Melbourne City. Maybe it did unsettle them. Vesna Milivojevic has scored her 7th of the season. And Canberra, they need 2 more goals to see finals football.
Grace Jarlee, she has caused havoc all game. She's turned this onto her left foot, and look at that finish by Milivojevic, and you can see how much that moment has meant to her.
Grove has Jarlee on the right, an assist already in the half. Jarlee plays the early ball. Milivojevic is going to go for the lob, and Barbieri bats it out for a corner kick.
That save by Melissa Barbieri, she has pulled off some huge saves. As we see here, beautiful combination through the likes of Jarlee and Milivojevic.
Was it on target?
I think it was going in, Teo. That is a great top hand.
Towards the defensive half. Oh, and a miss-hit pass. Coughs up the ball. Milivojevic is away. Only Middleton for company, though. Milivojevic, can she do it all herself here? Steadies. Steps onto her left. Oh, and puts it in the net. It's 3-3. Vesna Milivojevic has single-handedly dragged Canberra back into this one. And Melbourne Victory watching on, their fans, their team. They have the most nervous handful of minutes of the season coming up.
Oh my goodness, Melissa Barbieri has just stood there, stared at her teammates going, what are you doing? And rightly so. Oh, look, what a strike that is. Oh my goodness, I've just in excitement pulled my microphone out. I need to calm down, guys.
Darcy Malone, a shallow clearance. Rojas has got to work. Jarlee's there, a tired challenge. Taylor Young, Rojas, block tackle. Briley Henry, City, well, flag stays down, flag goes up. It looked as though Wilkinson set up offside. And indeed, that is the case. Canberra just need a cool head here. They actually need to get the ball down to their attacking end. Melbourne City have been able to hold them from taking the shot. Never mind actually having to defend a shot. Chloe Lincoln will go for distance. We're into the final 30 seconds of what has been an utterly compelling home and away season. Does it have one last twist at the finish? It skims off heads. It's going out for a corner until now, as Flannery heads it out for a goal kick. And that is going to bring us to the end of stoppage time, and maybe a little anticlimactically, unless the referee is feeling generous. Canberra have not been able to create the shot for 4-3. Melbourne City, I'm not sure they've learnt the lesson of last week's game against Perth, but they're going to get a better result than a 4-3 loss if they can just close it out for one last goal kick. Barbieri. The ball's up. Is the whistle in the mouth? The referee looks at the watch, and Canberra fall agonisingly short at the end of the home and away season. It'll be celebrations in the lounge rooms of Melbourne Victory fans and agony in the Capital Territory as Canberra miss out on the finals on goal difference at the end of a thrilling game. Melbourne City, they go into a final against Melbourne Victory on the other side of the international break with questions aplenty about exactly where they're at. What an end to the home and away season. Melbourne City 3, Canberra United 3.